back to World Crisis Radio. Webster Tarpley in Washington, D.C., reminding you, Webster G. Tarpley on Twitter, tarpley.net. Major article up there this week on the reasons for the wave of destabilizations. A whole group of countries playing the Russia card, a whole group of countries playing the China card, a whole group of countries playing the Iran card. Gaddafi out in front playing as many as he can. The Russia card, the China card, the other cards. He's talked about Brazil, he's talked about India, and so forth. But now let's go back to the vote in the UN Security Council. 5 big important countries voting against. The NATO state, Germany, already very embarrassing for NATO. India and China, that's about half the world right there. Plus Brazil, huge, plus Russia. So these are not little petty states. On the other side, you've got the Suez Coalition. You've got the 1956 unreconstructed imperialists, the Colonel Blimps of Britain, and the Guy Mollets of the Battle of Algiers. If Sarkozy goes into Libya, will he have another Battle of Algiers like Guy Mollet did in 1957 that brought him down with his atrocities and massacres? Is that what the Libyans wanted, to bring the Battle of Algiers into their country? I don't think that was the goal, but that's what they're going to get, thanks to their subservience to imperialism. The U.S. is therefore in league with the British and French colonialists, led by the right-wing extremist Sarkozy and the right-wing Tory conservative Cameron and his man there, Haig, another Colonel Blimp. So that's the U.S. group. And the rest of them, Gabon, Lebanon. We have to focus on Lebanon. Lebanon and goes into the annals of infamy with this one. The Arab state that's willing to vote in favor of killing Arabs, because that's what this means, killing Arabs in Libya. Why did they do that? If the Lebanese government is now under the influence of Hezbollah, what does that mean? Isn't that very, very short-sighted, let's say, to put it mildly, if you let the imperialists go in that way? Some of this stuff is judo. Some of it's, let the imperialists, since they're in a rage, let them go attack somebody else, not me. That may be the thinking in Lebanon and in Iran, but it's not a good idea. South Africa also voting in favor of the attack, and a couple of others, but a lot of these are very small states. So that's the coalition. Now, in terms of who's going to do the military attack, this is where it gets interesting. Right now, as we're recording, it's about 1:30 in the afternoon on Friday, March 18th. So far, there have been no attacks on Libya. Usually, if you think back to the first Gulf War, second Gulf War, the attacks generally come at night. They often come in the first night after the decision by the Security Council. Now, watch out, imperialists, because it happens we've got one of these really big full moons in the night, right? I believe Saturday night, tomorrow night, is a huge full moon. It's one of these moons that comes along once in a blue moon. Going to be very bright over Libya, not good for imperialist attacks. Friday night, similarly, not quite as bright, but similarly bright. So I think that's as good a guess as you can get. And they've chosen it badly, because you usually want to attack when there's no moon out. So now, who's going to do this? Will it be the British and the French? Part of this entire charade is that it's supposed to look like the U.S. Obama is... he's Hamlet-like. He doesn't know what to do, but Sarkozy and Cameron, the right-wing neo-colonialists, they know what to do. So they're dragging the U.S. in as the tail on the Anglo-French kite, and there is that going on, certainly in terms of the bureaucratic struggle. I think there really were people in the Pentagon who don't want to do this, but they've somehow, in about the last 24 hours before that UN vote, it was a very quick change, because you'd had Gates saying he didn't want to do it. You had Hillary saying that the difficulties were very great. You even had the French foreign minister, Juppé, saying it's too late for a no-fly zone. And then all of a sudden, in the 12 or 18 hours before the UN Security Council vote on Thursday night, it turns out that we've got to have not just a no-fly zone, but airstrikes. And it was the U.S. that actually made the difference. So the idea that Obama is reticent, that he's not engaged, this is simply a charade. This is simply to avoid the opprobrium of being the new Bush, which, of course, is what he is. He's the new Bush, and he's worse than the new Bush. who's going to carry out the military operations? Well, if the charade is kept up, the British and the French will attack first. Now, what does this mean? The British and the French attack first. Now, look at the stuff that the British say that they're mobilizing. They have these old Tornado jets. They have some other stuff. The British weaponry is not at the level of that of the U.S., needless to say, nor is that of France. The British and the French may find that Libya is not, repeat, not a cakewalk. They may find that their losses go beyond what they think they're going to be. We do have Jane's military publishers publishing an estimate that of the countries of North Africa, that the Libyan air defense is number 2 on the scale of robustness. He's got some Soviet and Russian SAMs. He's had a lot of oil income. Maybe he's been able to buy some effective missiles. We'll soon find out. He may have some effective anti-ship missiles. Exocets did wonders during the Malvinas-Falkland War. Those may be available to Gaddafi, or maybe he's got something better. He may have a few Russian Yakonsk. He may have surprising things, right? Even some Chinese silkworms can do a great deal. We'll soon find out if the imperialists insist on pressing this. These are things I'd rather not find out. But if you insist on goading Gaddafi, then you will find out what's there. The situation is now that in the immediate aftermath of the UN Security Council decision, the Libyan Deputy Foreign Minister announced a ceasefire that has been confirmed today, Friday, by the Libyan Foreign Minister Moussa Koussa, who says that the Libyans are not attacking. Now, of course, Al Jazeera from Misurata and also from Benghazi says, oh no, Gaddafi is attacking with everything he's got. Let's see what this means. The basic military pattern would be that if you limit the imperialist intervention to a no-fly zone and also airstrikes, this may indeed not be enough, especially if it's the relatively feeble British and French that are doing it. Now, Arab states coming in to cover this. This is astounding, right? The Arab League met last Saturday. They'll have to change it from the League of Arab States to the League of Arab States dedicated to killing Arabs, because that's what they decided. A unanimous decision there, as far as we know. There was resistance from Syria, from Algeria, even from Lebanon, even from some others, but it seems to have gone through, and there you have it. The Arab League has essentially, they've engaged in an act of political suicide, I would say, by endorsing an imperialist attack on one of their own members by outside forces, by non-Arab forces. They didn't say we'll clean up our house. That's what they said back in 1990 when Saddam invaded Kuwait. That's not it now. They say we want the imperialists to come in. Well, the imperialists will be coming in. The people that might join in the attack on Libya, first of all, Qatar, and they deserve very, very special attention. Qatar has played an absolutely critical role in this entire thing. Qatar means Doha. It means Al Jazeera. It means the Al Thani dynasty. The Thanis believe that they can destabilize the Saud family of Saudi Arabia. The Thanis of Qatar believe that they can destabilize the Khalifas of Bahrain. They believe that they can destabilize Yemen and all the other countries in their neighborhood. They remind you of Philippe Égalité, right, from the Orléans family back in the French Revolution. He was a member of the French royal family who tried to become a great leader of the French Revolution and lost his head in the process. We'll be back in a minute on World Crisis Radio.